All right, I'd like to say just a few words about gratitude. Okay? Sometimes people confuse being grateful with being happy. They are not the same, okay? You can be happy that you won the lottery, okay? But to be grateful for something requires some investment of heart. All right? To be grateful is to be grateful to someone. So, I don't know if you've seen my video, but I made this one video where this couple has a child who's going to die because of an illness. To save this child, they need a lot of money. And one way to get money is they win a lottery. Okay? They win a lottery. Oh, are they so happy, right? Because their child's life is going to be saved. So they are ecstatic with happiness. But that's not gratitude. Are they grateful to the machine that produced those numbers and they won the lottery? Okay? Then in a different situation, they lose the lottery, they don't win the lottery, but their neighbors, their friends and family members sacrifice their life savings in order to collect the money needed to save their daughter. Okay? So the result is the same. They get the money they need to save their daughter. But the feeling of the heart is different, right? In other words, people gave what they could give sacrificially to help them save their daughter. So that's gratitude. Will that couple ever forget those people who saved the life of their daughter? No, right? Every birthday of their daughter, they're going to remember those people and write them thank you. Our daughter's alive. She's now, 10 years old, or she's now 15 years old, or, oh, she's engaged to get married now, right? So gratitude is from the heart. So you can be happy the sun comes up, right? The long, cold night is over and the sun's coming up. You can feel happy. But do you feel gratitude? You can feel gratitude if you can hear the sun saying to you, good morning. I've been burning and, going through the act of fusion, producing all this energy to make you happy. Then how can you hear that voice? That's the voice of God, right? God invested his heart and his creativity to create the sun, which rises each day and gives us warmth, right? So it's very different. One person, they're happy the sun came up, okay? But another person feels the heart of God who made the sun for them to make them happy. And that's what we call gratitude. Okay? Or you can be happy to see a flower blooming. But the person who sees the flower blooming and hears the voice of God that says, I made this flower for you. I love you, my child. Please find inspiration in the beauty of this flower. Right? That's gratitude. Yeah. All right, so my point is, gratitude requires some effort. It's a relationship of heart. It's not just being happy. Happiness will come, happiness goes. Money comes and money goes, okay? But when you find real gratitude, that will last and last and last. Okay? And that's why gratitude is so important, because a healthy heart creates a healthy spirit and a healthy body and a healthy life. Okay? And there have been a lot of studies done that show that people who deeply feel gratitude in their life are healthier, happier, and they live longer. All right? Okay, so the topic this morning is finding gratitude in times of hardship. So how does that work? Because when you're having a hard time, the last thing you're thinking of is gratitude. So today I want you each to think about, to reflect. Let's put the questions up. So as always, we will begin 1 minute with introducing yourself and share one good experience you've had in the past month. Okay, that's how we always start. So share with your brothers and sisters who you are and one good experience you had in the past month. That's 1 minute each, okay? That's why we need timers. Okay. And then the important point here today is number 2. Share your experience of finding gratitude in a time of hardship. And in case somebody says, well, I can't think of any such time, then I put in parentheses, if that's too difficult, share what you are most grateful for today. Okay? But my hope is that you will search deeply in your heart and you will be able to share how you went through some kind of hardship and you found gratitude. Okay? So to give an example of that, I would like to share my personal experience, okay? And then I'm going to go on Zoom, and hopefully those people who are watching by the Zoom will join, and we'll have our own group that way. All right, so this hard time for me was when my parents broke up. Growing up, I have 4 siblings. There's 5 of us. I have 2 younger brothers. And I don't remember seeing my parents fight, okay? I don't remember. But suddenly, one day, things exploded, and my parents separated. And what happened was, my father is a professor at a university, and one of his PhD students, professors work pretty closely with their PhD students, okay? She was, and I met her one time, she was this extremely beautiful American Indian woman. I mean, stunningly beautiful woman, okay? And my father had an affair with this woman, okay? And when my mom found out, it just exploded, that marriage. And I'll never forget that day when my mom presented what had happened. And I saw my 2 little brothers. My 2 little brothers were just completely crushed by this. And that was so unbearable. Because I love my younger brothers, right? And in my heart, there grew such a deep resentment and anger towards my father that I cannot describe, okay? All right, then in later years, I met our movement. I joined our movement. And still, I had this incredible pain in my heart towards my father. And that lasted for years, okay? So how do you find gratitude in that kind of situation? Well, I finally did, okay? And it was at Compton. I was at Compton. If you're new to our movement, we have a spiritual retreat in Korea called Compton. It's at a lake in the mountains. Okay? It's really beautiful. And we go there to liberate our ancestors. Okay? So when I was there at this retreat and going through this exercise of liberating my ancestors, it got pretty intense, okay? Really intense. And it got so intense that I almost lost consciousness in this spiritual practice, okay? It was so intense. And then I had a vision, okay? And in this vision, I saw this beautiful, huge mirror with a big wood inlay around it. And on the right side of this mirror, there was this very handsome American Indian, okay? And he comes out of this mirror, okay, out of the wood inlay. He comes out, and he comes up to me, and his face comes right up to my face, and he looks at me, and he says, "It's enough." Okay? That's it, just those 2 words. It's enough. And I felt like this spirit or whatever, like a tremendous weight of resentment was lifted from this person, okay? And then this American Indian just went up, like to heaven, okay? And then through this experience, I reflected about my life. And in my life, I've had several encounters with American Indians, and they have not been so good, okay? And on several occasions, American Indian men who were drunk and kind of out of it, they attacked me, without any warning or, any reason. I'm just walking on the street and someone comes up and knocks me to the ground. So after I had this experience in Korea, at Compton, then I began to reflect on the situation with my father. And I realized that there was this great resentment towards my family, going back a long way to early America, in the way we treated the American Indians. Yeah. And then I realized the only reason I met this movement and was brought out of my comfortable situation, I was in a really comfortable situation. I was doing really well in school. I was a great athlete. I had a free pass to go to Stanford University. I was an Eagle Scout in my community, Boy Scouts, and I was completely involved in my community. And the only reason I was brought out of that situation is because my parents separated. And the only reason they separated was because of what happened between my father and this American Indian woman. And then I realized, oh my gosh, that as the divine principle teaches, sometimes God will use the spirits who have resentment to create indemnity so that through that indemnity, something good can come, right? And then at that time, I remember I wept, and for the first time, I found gratitude in that painful situation with my father. Yeah. And I realized the only reason I could find true parents, the only reason I could receive the blessing and meet my wife and all these things, it all began with that painful incident. But out of that, I finally could find a deep sense of gratitude. Yeah. So that's my story. Okay? So what I want to say is this. When you're going through hard times, you don't feel gratitude. I understand that. But if we take responsibility and we keep God's position and we keep going God's way, always, out of that hard time, you will gain blessing and you will be able to find the deepest gratitude. But it requires our responsibility. If we don't persevere, if we don't keep going, then that hard time will turn into something terrible. Something terrible, right? All right, so that's enough for me. I hope I didn't go too long. I didn't watch carefully, but so I hope you get the message. Okay? That we can find gratitude even in hard times. So I want you to do number one first. Introduce yourselves to each other. But then please think about those times in your life that were hard and how you were able to find gratitude even in those difficult times. It's okay? All right, so I'm going to end with a quote from True Father. This is from the book of prayers, our True Father's prayers, okay? And this is one of True Father's amazing qualities, is to find gratitude in difficult times. This is his prayer. It's from 1987. I thank you today, speaking to God, of course, for having come over peak after peak of this difficult path. Father, you were love. You who put me behind steel bars, prepared for me the standard of a situation filled with joy. And when I think that it was in order to give me a position of inheritance, in order to give me blessings, now that it is over, I see that everything was your love. and was the touch of your expansive generosity. I offer gratitude when I think of that. We have offered up everything in this prayer in the name of the true parents. Amen. So that's Father's prayer of gratitude in the midst of difficulty. So I hope you have a good experience sharing in your teams. Okay? All right, so please begin.